My name is Maxwell Colonna Dashwood. I am a coffee professional. In particular, over the last decade, I've collaborated with researchers, scientists, and innovators to look at what it is about water composition that so dramatically changes the flavour of a cup of coffee. The same coffee brewed on the same equipment, but with a change in water, is absolutely mind-blowing. Now, this is a challenge for the coffee industry, both in terms of the quality and consistency of the products that we're preparing and serving people, but also in terms of the maintenance of our equipment. Now, traditionally, we've had a very rudimentary approach to water filtration. Based on where we are in the country or around the world, we'll simply test the water coming into our location and set up one of a variety of filter solutions. Based on how much water we think we're going to use, how many cups of coffee we think we're going to make, we'll set a date to change that particular system over and renew it, because it will at some point stop filtering the water so well. The problem with this approach is the water coming into a location often changes wildly, and also the amount of water you use is hard to predict. You can, of course, have a simple indicator telling you how much water you'll use, but it still doesn't tell you precisely that day that the filter stops working so well. And what would happen in our coffee shop is we'd find out too late. The coffee would start to taste flat, uninteresting, and we would think it was other problems. We would then test the water and realise that quickly we needed to renew our filtration system. And so what the industry has desperately needed is a day-to-day reading of our water to give us a heads up when there's any significant change in the water that we're using as the foundation of our business. Up until now, there has been nothing. So I'd like to introduce you to Hydracs. Hydracs is a simple, compact telemetry system that goes under counter, post-filter, pre-brewing equipment. It measures the water in two ways: a flow meter to measure the volume of water that you use, but very importantly, it measures the TDS of the water. Now, TDS stands for total dissolved solids. This is referring to the amount of minerals in the water. So a harder water will have a higher number, and a softer water will have a much lower number. Now, it's very important to recognise that TDS doesn't tell us everything about the water, but it is a great indicator to any significant changes in the water. Now, we have had two Hydracs units, one on our filter bar and our espresso bar, installed in our concept flagship store in Bath in the southwest of England for several months now. Every day, there is a reading on a dashboard to let us know the TDS of our water that we're using. But what's really valuable is that it will notify us of any significant changes. And so far, every time this has happened, we have been able to change our filtration and make sure that we maintain the quality of our drinks before the drinks have gone down in flavour quality and before that harder water has got into our machines and filled them up with scale. Hydracs not only works specifically well in a singular concept store. In fact, I think it really comes into its own and shows value across multi-site operations. It's a real challenge to operate multiple sites and make sure that the consistency and quality of your product and your customer's experience is maintained. You've got a fleet of equipment that you need to look after, staff that you need to train. And we look after these things. We spend a lot of money on equipment and training and our product supply, whether that's roasted coffee or whether that's tea or other beverages. But we really don't keep a proper professional eye on the quality of our water that underpins these businesses. And to be quite frank, I think Hydracs is an overdue innovation. It has far-reaching benefits across multiple industries and multiple markets.